Hello and welcome back to my channel, Professor Ajiz's lecture. Students, today we are going to discuss about a very important topic which is there in your course, that is specimen handling. So, what exactly specimen is, which comes to the clinical lab. So, the types of biological samples accepted in most clinical laboratory are serum samples, virology swab samples, biopsy, necropsy tissues, CSF, whole blood for PCR, and urine samples. These are collected in a specific container for successful processing in the laboratory. These specimens hold a very importance in clinical lab. Perhaps a couple of them like CSF, pleural fluids, synovial fluids, they come through a very painful procedure. So we have to take utmost care in handling these specimens, and perhaps without wasting any time we have to proceed these samples, and perhaps we have to go for a very good diagnosis. So today we are going to discuss about specimen handling. Specimen handling: procedure for collecting, preserving, and transporting of specimens sufficiently stable to provide accurate and precise results suitable for clinical interpretation. So this is the basic gist about specimen handling. So here it is, the objectives: responsibility of specimen collection, how to collect and handle various specimens, and sample rejection. So sample rejection is supposed to be one of the most important part. Suppose if the sample comes from the ward and the specimen is blood, if you centrifuge the specimen, you see the plasma or serum is hemolyzed. There is some red color mixed with the serum and plasma. So that means the specimen is distorted and it is not suitable for testing. So return back the specimen to the ward and again ask them to send the fresh sample for a procedure. Introduction: nurses often assume the responsibility of sample collection in wards. So this is the responsibility of the nurses who sends the sample from the ward, and we should also conduct a special training for the nurses also to do a proper phlebotomy, and what are the things they have to do to get a very clean specimen. And for example, if the specimen needs to be investigated for diabetes, sugar, the specimen should be shown in fluoride vial. If it requires some biochemical test like creatinine, urea, SGOT, SGPT, the specimen should be sent in a plain vial. And if the specimen requires hematological test, then it should be sent on the purple vial, that is EDTA vial. Proper sample handling and collection and handling ensures quality and reliable lab results. Sample degradation or compromise: necessary for sample collectors to know and abide by proper sample collection and handling techniques. So basically the outcome of it is we need to take utmost care for the sample, and we need to use all kind of aseptic techniques to draw out the blood and to handle the specimens. Specimen collection key issues: consider differential diagnosis, decide on tests to be conducted, decide on clinical samples to be collected to conduct these tests. Consultation between microbiologists, clinicians, and epidemiologists is required. So this is purple color vial which is supposed to be used in the hematology lab, and tests like CBC, ESR, platelet counts, and MCV, MCH. These are various types of tests which are being conducted in hematology test. So this vial is required. So ethyl dynamine diamine tetraacetic acid, that is EDTA. It is purple top, lavender top, used for routine hematology, reticulocyte count, sickle cell, glycosylated hemoglobin, HB electrophoresis, CD4, thin smear, blood grouping, and not suitable for calcium and coagulation. Inverse several times soon after collection. The moment you start your proceeding your test, you need to mix it properly, and adequate mixing is a must to proceed for these tests. Specimen collection tubes. This is a plain vial, red top, no clot activator, as indicated, has no clot activator plane. In it, all body fluids like CSF, gastric fluid, pleural, lymph aspirates, etc., synovial fluids must be collected in this tube. Inverse several times soon after collection. So the basic thing is the mixing of the blood or this CSF or other fluids or the body fluids is required before processing for the further test. Sample collection tubes, red top with clot activator, used for chemistry, cross-match, serology, VDRL, hepatitis B and hepatitis C test, inverse several times after collection. Specimen collection tube, blood culture bottles, has bacterial growth medium and activated charcoal. Sample of blood culture is collected directly into blood culture bottles. So this is a part of microbiology. Basic sample collection techniques. Venipuncture. Collection of blood from vein for various tests that require large volume sample. Requires a tourniquet, needle, syringe, disinfectant, cotton, wool, specimen collection tubes. Procedure commonly done on a vein in the antecubital fossa of the arm, that is the middle vein. Can also on a site other than the antecubital fossa where a vein is visible or can be reached. Blood is drawn with a needle after the site has been thoroughly disinfected with the bevel of the needle facing upward. So these are the things which is required for venipuncture. The vein should be prominent. So we should prefer the cubital vein that is in the middle of the arm. But sometimes there are various other veins also which are more prominent. We can also draw blood from there. And perhaps before collecting the blood, we need to disinfect it. We can use this 70% of alcohols, or sometimes in some labs spirit is also used. Disinfect it, then do a venipuncture. Blood samples, blood for smears, collection capillary blood from finger prick, make smear, fixed with methanol and other fixative. Handling and transport, it's very important part of the sample collection. Transport slides within 24 hours. Do not refrigerate, can alter cell morphology. So we can't refrigerate the made slides. Basic sample collection techniques: urine collection, wash hands, clean meters, female front to back, start stream, then stop collection specimen, aseptic technique, bedpan of oblique Mexican hat, to lab 15-20 minutes post collection, urine specimens, random specimens, midstream urine, time urine trial urine. So these are the type of basic sample collection techniques: urine collection, wash hands, clean meters, female front to back, start stream, then stop, collect specimen, aseptic techniques, bedpan, oblique Mexican hat, to lab 15-20 minutes post collection, urine specimens, random specimens, midstream urine, time urine, trial urine. So these are types of specimens which are being collected and the procedures. Basic sample collection techniques for stool specimens. Analysis of fecal material can detect pathological conditions such as tumors, hemorrhage, infections. Test OB, ova, parasites, pus. Use a sterile container to collect stool. Applicator sticks, direct collection, stool sample scoop. These are things which are required. Must reach the lab as soon as possible. So these are things which should be available on the lab. CSF collection, lumbar puncture, sterile tubes, aseptic conditions, trained person. As we all know, we should take utmost care for the collection of CSF. An experienced person, preferably a surgeon or maybe some of the most experienced senior clinicians, can conduct these procedures. And it's a painful procedure, but it has to be done with perfect diligence, and proper aseptic technique should be used. And perhaps the moment the CSF is tapped, it is immediately sent to the laboratory for further investigations. CSF handling and transportation, bacteria, preferably in trans-isolate medium, pre-warm to 25 to 37 degrees centigrade before inoculation, or transport at ambient temperature. Relevant pathogens do not survive at low temperature, as we all know. Viruses, transport at 4 to 8 degrees centigrade if up to 48 hours, or minus 70 degrees for longer duration. These are the types of temperature which preserve the CSF. Common sample collection techniques for sputum. Collection for sputum. Instruct patient to take a deep breath and cough up sputum directly into the wide mouth sterile container. Avoid saliva and post-nasal discharge. 1 ml minimum volume. So these are the type volume, that is 1 ml minimum volume is required for proper investigation. And believe me, less than it will not do any good. So we should instruct the patients to kindly do the prerequisite which is required over here, and take a deep breath and try to put sputum into the sterile container, and saliva is not entertained. Rejection of samples. All samples collected in wrong tubes are rejected. All samples untimely brought to the lab are rejected. Unlabeled samples are rejected. Insufficient samples are rejected. Compromised samples, hemolyzed samples, etc. are rejected. If a sample is rejected, the one rejecting it must indicate the reason for the rejection of the sample. Suppose if the sample you are rejecting, you receive a blood sample from the ward and it is hemolyzed. The serum or the plasma is showing red color. That means the sample which has been sent to you is not of good quality, and it can affect the diagnosis. So you have to immediately return the sample back and perhaps inform the things to the in charge over there, and just you can ask for the fresh sample. So students, these are the things which I would like to tell you today. Like, specimen collection itself is a very important procedure, and it looks very simple, but it is a very basic thing, but perhaps the entire diagnosis depends upon the quality of specimen collected. Laboratory tests contribute vital information about the patient's health. Correct diagnostic and therapeutic decisions rely in part on the accuracy of test results. Adequate patient preparation, specimen collection, and specimen handling are essential prerequisites for accurate test results. The accuracy of test results is dependent on the integrity of the specimen. As I told you, the integrity of specimen is dependent upon the quality of the specimen you have taken. So if the quality of the specimen, CSF, whatever it may be, blood, it should be taken through proper aseptic techniques, and as per the SOP, standard operating procedure. The quality of diagnosis will be of good, and you can be very well assured that the result which you have generated, the diagnosis which you have made, is of top quality. Thank you so much for watching my channel, for watching my lectures. Kindly support me, subscribe my channel, and share it and like it. Comment it also. Thank you so much again.